Welcome to ESPN Footy Tips Round 5. John Webb joined by Jude, Bolton. Jude, just 49 whoppers given out last week because there was such a hard round to pick in the end.
Incredibly tough round. Obviously started last Friday night with Melbourne's big win over Richmond, and Richmond were pretty insipid on the Friday night footy, but a massive Friday night to start.
The Ds were okay.
Yeah, Ds were good. Sorry, don't take anything away from the Ds.
Carlton Collingwood kicking off this week. Mixed record.
Incredible record. 715 games, taking over Jock McHale. Incredible to be coaching against his old side as well. So just a terrific Friday night clash. Currently, Dane Swan's in a moon boot, so he's looking to train just lightly on Thursday prior to this game. But we'll see how he pulls up. But he's been in ripping form and just one of the, premier players of the competition when he's got his fitness, and he's got his fitness right up.
Yep. So you're picking Collingwood this week?
Got Collingwood over the Blues in the Friday night clash.
Richmond Geelong MCG on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it's a really tough one to pick. Obviously, Richmond, had that ordinary performance against Melbourne, and the Cats were, pushed all the way down at North Melbourne and down at Skilled Stadium. So I think just with the Cats, there's just a few injuries still with Bartel, Lonergan, those sort of types out at the moment. I like their formation up front with Hawkins and Mitch Clark. However, I'm tipping the Tigers to bounce back.
Yeah, I'd expect that too. Sydney versus Western Bulldogs, SCG, Saturday afternoon.
Cracking game of football, this one. I mean, the Bulldogs, the way they just hunted the Adelaide Crows, who were undefeated going into last week's game, was just incredible. Sydney came off that tough run over against Fremantle, had a shocking start to the game, and fought back really bravely and just fell short against the Dockers. So I'm tipping the Swans on the home deck. I think just on the home deck in front of their home crowd, a big crowd at the SCG, I think they'll just get up.
Q Clash, Saturday night. Gold Coast versus the Lions. Now, I think you changed your tip here.
This is one where I changed my tip. Yeah. I mean, I just felt the Gold Coast Suns, they were really ordinary last week against GWS. I thought they'd bounce back, but then just looking at some of the early injuries this week, Nick Malcheski's out with a knee. Also, David Swallow's out with a knee also, so he'll miss an extended period as well. So two players who, critical of their lineup, suddenly out of the team. I'm going to go with the Brisbane Lions here. I think, Queensland footy is in dire straits at the moment. Both sides are, winless at the moment. They need to, someone's going to come away with a win. I guess that's the main thing. So, but they need to have a really good story out of this. Someone needs to kick a bag of goals, and hopefully the Lions will get up.
My game of the round, North Melbourne Hawthorn at Etihad Saturday night as well.
Huge game of football. The Hawks, once similar game, I guess, to the way the Swans and Dockers played out. Their game against Port Adelaide was just finals-like footy. They fell away. So it didn't start the game too well. Port Adelaide jumped out of the blocks but fought back bravely, and that's where their class came to the fore. However, Brian Lake's going to miss a lot of football or just an extended period with his knee. It's a big change. I think Sean Makers has to come back in. But I think the Hawks will get up against North.
Then West Coast, we head over to West Coast, GWS. Who would have thought GWS was second on the ladder round 5? Second
on the ladder. I mean, and that's where the 8 is just unbelievable at the moment, and but it's great for footy as well. I think that's what you want. You want a national competition where any team's got a chance on the weekend, and this is going to be a great game. West Coast Eagles obviously had a good win up in Brisbane, but GWS were just in ripping form, and I'm tipping the Giants. I think guys like Dylan Shield, Cornelio, Callan Ward's had a great start to the year, but Cam McCarthy is second on the goal, leading the goal king for the Giants, but he's just been fantastic. He's just a focal point up front, and has allowed Cameron to just slot in as well with him. So it's just a really formidable
in the next few years, aren't they?
Well, Patton's coming back as well. Yeah. They blooded a young guy in his fourth game, James Stewart, who was impressive for them as well. So I'm tipping the Giants over there, which will be a big game, a big win.
And then moving on to Sunday, Demons Freo at the G.
Tough one to pick, I guess, as well.
Tough one to pick, I like hearing that.
Yeah, no, well, the D's are playing a better brand of footy. I mean, they're coming out after their game against Adelaide. They lost to Adelaide over at Adelaide Oval, but they actually went after them, and that sort of mindset was able to just take into the game against Richmond. So Fremantle, they've just got so much class. They play a finals-like game of footy, so I'm tipping the Dockers there.
And then Saints Essendon at Etihad on Sunday afternoon?
Saints and Essendon, I think the Essendon Bombers will, probably get up in this one. I think the Saints were really disappointing. They, fought hard early over in Wellington for the best part of the game, but just dropped away. So I'm tipping the Bombers here just to have a good win.
Over the Saints. And Showdown 38 in Adelaide. Port versus Adelaide on Sunday afternoon to round out the round.
What a cracking finish to the weekend. This is one of the, just games that they pencil in over in the South Australia. Just every year is just, hotly contested.
This year when they're both up and about.
Both up and about. Adelaide Crows, they're stinging after that loss. Apparently had to do the jump off the jetty after just being beaten in the ground ball. So expect Phil Walsh to be cranking them up to rip in. However, Port Adelaide's just class, and the way they jumped out of the blocks against Hawthorn, no less. To dominate that first quarter and kick, I think it was 9 goals, 2 in the first quarter. Just super impressive.
I felt like watching that Clarkson actually got out-coached in that first quarter and a half. They dropped West off back. And
yeah, there's a few structural changes, but it's just intensity. They play this high-energy brand of football and they take it on. Schultz kicked 3 in the first quarter, which was just incredible. Yep. The Hartlett goal from the junction was just super impressive. So I'm tipping Port Adelaide in the showdown.
So just take us through your tips for this round.
So I've got Collingwood over Carlton, Richmond over Geelong, Sydney over the Bulldogs, Brisbane Lions over the Suns, Hawthorn over North Melbourne, the Giants over the Eagles over in the West, Fremantle over Melbourne, Essendon over St Kilda, and Port Adelaide in the showdown.
Good luck with your tips this week.